Multifamily Mindset
podcast. Think bigger.
Welcome back to the Multifamily Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Zach Rucker, co-founder of Black Cedar Investments and coach here at the Multifamily Mindset. For those just joining us, welcome aboard. Excited to have you part of our growing community. And to give you a quick rundown, every Tuesday we drop episodes with interviews with our students from our mentorship program, and they're sharing their stories. Then Thursdays, our mindset mentor, my friend Dallas Pruitt, unpacks the mindset principles from these inspiring stories. And then that's not all. Tyler Deverell, the founder of the Multifamily Mindset, has his own podcast every Wednesday called Own the Outcome, interviewing high-level individuals on that podcast. And now we'll have another one dropping on Fridays called the Multifamily Minute. So listen to those as well to gain other practical tips and tricks for your multifamily business. With that, I'm excited to introduce our guest today, Justin Mills. He's joining us to share his story. But Justin, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's great.
Yeah, awesome.
Excited to give back and just share some knowledge with up and coming students and get that out there. So
yeah, awesome. So Justin, you joined has it been about a year?
about 1 year ago, yeah.
About 1 year ago. Wow, that's
Time
awesome.
flies. It's crazy.
That's crazy. So give our listeners a little background. Like who's Justin? What did you do before you joined the Multifamily Mindset?
Sure. So family man, married, 3 kids. My oldest daughter just graduated high school. That's where I'm at now. Prior to that, I mean, I've always been in the service industry in regards to just helping people, like whether it was waiting tables or anything customer service related. I have a massive passion for board games. That is my love and my hobby. I own over 1,000 board games.
Wow.
And yeah, it's fun. If you ever want to come by for game night at the Dragon's Lair, you're
There we
welcome to.
go. There
Yeah,
we go.
every Friday
Yeah.
at 6:30.
Awesome.
Just trying to bring joy. Really, like that's the biggest thing that I look at. I try to enjoy my life, enjoy the experience, and try to give that to other people too. Right. So, we're all in the spin and rock together, and it's important to me that I try and make everyone else's experience a positive one as much as myself too. You talk about history in regards to what brought me to the multifamily mindset. I've So I think about think bigger, much like the motto, and it's such an appropriate motto, right? Always learning and growing, always being the best version of yourself and getting better. And something to that point, I was on a mission of personal growth for a couple of years, very devoted, dedicated to that. Prior to finding multifamily mindset. And I'm sure much like many people, I saw Tyler's ad pop up a couple times on the feed. And I finally said, you know what, I'm going to click this. And then I went to the 1-day workshop, and I was the first one out of my seat halfway through, just signed up. And same thing with the 3-day workshop. Like I was the first one to get the gold lanyard. And so much of that, it was funny because after doing that, afterward, they put a quote by Napoleon Hill about taking action. And I thought it was very appropriate. And that's it. It's just, and that's really the crux, the essence, I think, of anything that you do is take action, right? Ready, fire, aim, like just get moving. You can course correct along the way, but so many times I think people get caught up in trying to do it perfectly or trying, to make sure that they don't screw up. Well, let you know a little secret, you're going to screw up. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen, right? And so just learn from that, right? Learn and grow and become better, right? And the next time you do it, you'll do it a lot better than you did the first time. So with that kind of mindset, that kind of mentality, I went headfirst into the MFM program, and it's been wonderful. I look back, you talk about being a year gone.
A year already.
I cannot believe that it's been that. And the growth that I've experienced from it's been exponential.
That's awesome. I love that. So I want to ask you this. We have a lot of guests on here, somewhat, similar experiences of going to the workshop and then signing up and going through this for a year. It's been a year, right? And a lot of growth. What, why the multifamily mindset? I know you saw the ad, but why multifamily? Why real estate? There's so many things to do, I guess, in life. and different businesses to maybe run, but like what stuck out most to you for you to take action with the multifamily mindset or just real estate in general?
Vast majority of millionaires are made by real estate, right? The reality is, and I mean, I know money is not what everything's about, but it's a great tool to allow you to do the things you want,
Yeah.
right? And so the idea, I mean, that was a massive driver for me. Being able to support my family is everything to me. Single family income, being able to make sure my wife's a stay-at-home mom and give my kids the best life possible is something that's always been passionate for me. So when I saw this as an opportunity, uh, they talk about, and I'm sure these are words that have been said a million times to people that are listening, but generational wealth and being able to create this legacy and all these other items. Well, I mean, I want to enjoy it too, quite frankly. Like so,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I've learned so much along this line that it's also in the journey. And so when we talk about MFM and really multifamily housing, right? I've actually owned a couple of properties that were single family homes, and when there's not someone there, it is painful because you're covering that mortgage, right?
Yeah.
And so when you talk about the business model that is multifamily units, you can have vacancy and still make your business plan work. And so that was enticing to me. That drew my attention. I love the aspect of the team atmosphere, right? I've always been hungry and aggressive and press forward. But the comment that I think of is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? And one thing that I've added to that, and I'm going to give Bethany Laflamme credit on this one, because she at Peak Partnership she talked about her swimming, and to that I've added and stay in your lane, right? So you go far together and you go there fast at the same time by staying in your lane. So
Mm.
the I think it's called the Pareto principle. I may be saying it wrong, but it's the 80-20 rule, right? So
Yep.
80% of your effort yields 20% of your results. 20% of your effort yields 80% of your results. And so if you can do what you're fantastic at and just do it just to the best of your ability, become amazing, and you do that well, and you team up with other people that help to support or augment the things that are not your strength, you will go far fast together, right? And the multifamily mindset, being aligned from the standpoint of perspective and mindset, along with the vehicle that is multifamily housing, it was a perfect set for me.
Hey, listeners, thank you for tuning in to the MFM podcast. We truly appreciate your support and hope you're enjoying the insights from our incredible guests. We have one small favor to ask. Please leave us a review and rating. Your feedback means the world to us. And to show you our appreciation, we're giving away some great prizes to some lucky listeners who leave us a review. So scroll down, share your thoughts, and help us continue to bring valuable content. Thanks, and back to the show. Wow. Yeah. You summed it up in a lot of aspects of, building that wealth through real estate and then a team sport. I tell everyone that, right? It is a team sport.
Yeah.
And, somebody of that of like, you have to work as a team to get anywhere, to get far, in effectively. Right. I love that. So let's talk about how that's been for you this first year. Obviously you're on this podcast. You've done a deal. I guess give the listeners a little bit. Yeah.
Yes,
First off,
you
congrats.
can too. And
Yeah.
you can too. If you think that you can't, just keep going. Like, get over that fear, break through the barrier. Don't allow yourself to stop. Take the action. You're going to hear me say it. You're going to hear everyone else say it. Just do it. Like, there's no one that's going to do it for you. You have to take the effort, and it's not fun. And you will fall. You'll skin your knee. You'll be scared. Like, just go. Just get up and go. And I say that only because when you talk about getting the deal done, like, it's so exciting. I thought I was going to have a deal in 3 months, like 90 days, no problem, under contract, let's go. That didn't happen. Right. And the
Yeah.
market wasn't perfect for it. And I didn't have the knowledge and behind it to be able to support that appropriately. But I kept learning and I kept growing. Right. And so here we are a year later. One closed on the book, 64 units. We got another 46 under contract right now, active raise.
Awesome.
I'm not promoting that as a 506B. That's completely like, if you're a
Yep.
friend of mine and you're interested, feel free to reach out. We can talk about it. But otherwise, um, but jokes aside, it's incredibly exciting. You talk about the law of the first deal, right? Jim Anderson, who did our 3-day workshop, he mentioned that, and it's so true, right? The first one comes through, the second one's right behind it. Now there's many others in the pipe, right? At this point, uh, creating when it started, like, so Gold Dragon Investments, my company, and now a member of Centennial Peak Partners. We partnered up. I'm part of the or we did the 100 Doors to 100 Days challenge. And a few of us formed our own entity, and each of us independently brought our companies into and formed as a partnership. And it goes back to everything I said about, right, you want to go far, fast together, right? So, and stay in your lane. So each of us has our own strengths. We support each other. But, all of that it didn't start right away. It came through effort, growth, and just getting out there, putting yourself out there. Originally, when I first started, I created this. I told Jed Johnson, who was the strategist, I told him I was going to create the company Gold Dragon Investments. He said, "Oh, you already created it?" No, I haven't yet. Right. But I just knew I was going to make it. And I did. Thankfully, the name was available. And I got that set. And I didn't know where to start. So I went on the Facebook group and I just started scrolling through. I looked what people posted. Just tried to learn as much as I could. I did the 4-week foundational, right? Went through every video on there, like, which is interesting. And I'll throw this out there. I think this is a pro tip. If you've already watched them and think you know it, go watch it again. Go
Yep.
watch it again. You will get more nuggets when you see it again, and things that where your mindset is changed and how your perspective has changed, you will get things from it you didn't get the first time. So that's valuable. Um, on the Facebook group, Brandy Sommers put a note. He said, everyone wants to start a team. Everybody wants to get that, but you really don't know what you're doing, right? It's like the blind leading the blind. So really what you're doing is study groups. So I joined July 1st last year. Come after only a couple months, I believe it was in technically October, I started it. Through November and December, I did 2 study groups. So I threw out to the MFM, the Facebook community, saying, hey, I'm going to start a study group. And there was only 10 slots each. I did 2 per week. They were 4 weeks because I put a bookend on it. I didn't want to go indefinite. And it was 2 separate groups over 4 weeks, and we spaced it out. And I put that out there, and I got lots of people said they wanted to. And all these people said they wanted to. This many people showed up. This many people saw it through.
Yep.
And I think that, and either way, that's a theme. Like, that happens a lot. It
Yep.
happened with our 100 Days Challenge. It happened with that. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that sign up for MFM that don't do anything with it. And if you don't, that's on you. I don't mean that to be rude. I mean to be accurate and and honest, right? If you don't get something from this, because you're not putting in the time, effort, and energy. So don't go pointing the finger at everybody else. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I not doing that I can be that will make me get where I want to? Because at the end of the day, the buck stops with you, period.
Mhm.
So I put out that study group. A couple of people showed up. I got some experience. I made some friendships from it. I want to call out all the names, but I wouldn't want to miss somebody and hurt anybody's feelings. So I'll just say there was a lot of people that were on there, and I'm super thankful that I met them. After that study group ended, it was right before Christmas, took the break, and then right there I saw Rashmi Chandraj had put out the note about the 100 Days Challenge, and I said, I'm all in, let's go. And I did. And then we met every day for 100 days. I opened the year with a family vacation in Hawaii. And so January 1st, I'm in Hawaii. We started this challenge on January 2nd. Let me tell you, telling my entire family that I had to be back to the hotel by a certain time every day to be on these meetings, like, that did not go over well.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
it was not fun. I mean, I had a great time. Explaining it to my wife was a little harder, but we pushed through. We made it happen, and my family was supportive of it. Maybe not at first, but they got along, and we just adapted. Right? Was it easy? No. But did I make it happen? Yes. Right? Why? Because I knew I would, and it was all I had to do it. Right? So we met every day for 100 days. So many lessons learned, right? So many people, like, and what comes of it? Like, at the very end, you look back and you see how far you've come. When you're in it, your head's down, you're in it, you're just taking step after step, trying to, and every now and again you look back up and then you see, all right, I'm on course, all right, course correct, and I keep going. And so to think about where I was a year ago to where I am today, and to think about where I'm going to be in the future, like, right, visualization. If you've read any of the quotes that I post, uh, I post one every weekday consistently, and everything I'm saying right now is aligned with everything that I put out on those
Yeah.
quotes, right?
100%. Yeah.
So yeah. So I
Yeah.
apologize for going off on a tangent there.
This was it was all great. I'm listeners, if you didn't catch it, like, go back and re-listen. There's a lot of gold nuggets dropped there. One is, start a study group. honestly. I call them underwriting parties, if you want to make it a little bit more fun. But start these study groups, these underwriting parties, instead of just trying to find partners, start these study groups. And like Justin said, you're going to find those that are going to fizzle out pretty quickly, and you're going to see who are the ones that are committed. And when you see those who are committed and you continue to work with them in these facets of they're showing up, for like you, for example, Justin, you out of your family vacation and jumping into it, you could have easily said, I'll get there next week. I'll start next week. Like, give me a week off. I got family vacation. And a lot of people probably would have been like, yeah, sure. Like, you go enjoy family. But you took that step because you knew what you wanted. You knew that you had to put in the work to get there too. It wasn't just going to come to you. And to sacrifice that time in your family vacation is a huge sacrifice. For a lot of people, you might have been like, no, I was enjoying it. I was loving it. But again, like your family had to sacrifice a little bit with that. You had to sacrifice some time that you could have been spending out in Hawaii doing other excursions or spending time on the beach. But you spend that time starting the year off to get you where you wanted to do. And then what was that, 100 days later, you guys
Yeah.
found a deal and closed on it?
Yeah, less than 100 days. We got
Less
it
than
within
100 days.
110 doors under contract within the timeline, right?
Wow.
Even had we not, I would have felt it was a success. The
Hmm.
experience, the knowledge, what I gained along the time, the friendships that we formed, the lessons that I learned, the knowledge that I gained about what it takes, about the operations, about all the underbelly of what the multifamily space is, right? The contacts and connections I made with the brokers, the the MSAs that we went into and we found out that's not a good place to be,
Yep.
right? Like, but that was valuable, right? That time wasn't wasted. It was still an experience that helped us to create the foundation to grow, right? And we did, and we made it, and that came to the team. So um, we helped to support each other. Absolutely. It wasn't easy for anybody. Had we all had our moments, right?
Hmm.
Where and that's what a team is so beautiful about, right? Every time someone's now granted, I'm a little much sometimes, I'm sure, right? Like that hyper positivity, but every time even I find myself getting down, like I'll give myself a pep talk, like if to be inside this brain is a little freaky. So but but
I
I
feel
got
you
to
there. I'm on the
yeah,
same page. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but it's good. I mean, that's what makes it different, right? If this was easy, everyone would do it, right? So it's
Yeah.
not easy. And I don't, and I think, I don't know about you, but in our 3 day, like they certainly said, this won't be easy, right? I think a lot of people think that it's going to be. I think a lot of people think, oh, that's just, cookie cutter, right? Um, and I don't think it's rocket science. I think there's a process, there's a system, right, that's in place. And the cool thing about that is that you can create your own system. You can find what works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. Discard it. Like this is your business. This is your adventure. These are your goals that you're setting, right? And um Zig Ziglar talks about you helping other people will help you get to where you want to be, right? And so if you focus on service and finding out and this is I think slightly overused, but everyone talks about like, how do you bring value or add value to someone else? I think part of that's just being genuine. Be you, right? You will find people that you align with, and you will find people that you don't. The people that you don't, wish them well. Genuinely wish them well on their adventure. Doesn't mean you have to go down the same path. Don't waste your time, effort, and energy spewing negativity or like I don't even want to go that route. So
Yeah.
the point simply is that just find and focus on the things that are good for you. Find ways you can add value to others by whether it's your personality, whether it's your skill set, right? Whether it's your organizational skills, right? Maybe you're not great with people, but maybe you are hyper organized and you like are incredibly detail oriented. Great, add that to somebody, to a team, right? And I think that's where those study groups come into play because you start to feel that dynamic, right? You get on a Zoom call, it's not just all audio. You get to see and feel the energy, the excitement, the knowledge, right? You form these friendships, and you learn about yourself in that at the same time,
Hmm.
right? And I think absolutely invaluable. But
Yeah. Yeah. You come to the table and you realize what other people are doing makes you think internally how you're
yes,
performing. Right. And I
yes,
think that's very big. It makes you, I think, step up to that. If other people, you see
yes,
other people taking this action, like you said, and I don't know if it was, no, we were talking right before this, we started recording is when it's just up to you, a lot of times you'll procrastinate things. I'll get to it tomorrow. But when you have other people holding you accountable, you don't want to let them down. That's that
Right.
pressure you feel. It's a
Yeah.
societal pressure that we all feel, and we got to step up to the plate. And through that, you find ways to get things done, and you don't find those excuses anymore. You find, how do I can get it done? And um, it's just powerful, because then you learn and you dig in deeper to who you are and how you can change habits that you might have fallen into previously, by bringing that in. So any listeners that are on here that are maybe working by themselves, just join, they don't have partners, do what Justin did. Set up these study groups. Surround yourself with people to hold you accountable and push you as well as you push them. That's what's going to help you just move forward, step by step. Like I said, looking down, you just take one step at a time, and then you look up and you're in a new place. You've progressed, you've learned from that. But you said
So
something. Yeah, go ahead.
no, so what you just said right now made me think, and something I would share. Like, it's interesting, goals, right? So goals are so important to have. I feel they really give you something to look, but goals are this shiny thing in the future that are not here and now, right? And so what I've recently had this kind of epiphany in my mind is that a goal is a fantastic thing, like a lighthouse, right? And you are pressing along, and when you're in it and you're swimming in these raging waters, it may be tranquil, it may be raging, like whatever, the waves are crashing against you, and you're just swimming and you're working your way towards that lighthouse. And every now and again, you got to pop your head back up and realize, course correct, wait, that's where my goal is. It'll help you to realign, and then you keep plodding along, right? And again, you're getting hit by wave after wave, and you're not focusing on that, but like, it's something to anchor you, or to guide you, so that you can look up and know where you're headed, right? And the next thing you know, you're there at that goal, and you look back and you see what you crossed and all that turbulent water that you were able to overcome, right? And you feel such an amazing sense of accomplishment. Whether the goal is this big or this big, right? In either situation, that feeling is still there. And I think, well, I'll save that part for later because it's in reference to think bigger. So, um, I just think of goals as a lighthouse, right? And you're working your way towards it, and don't give up, right? Don't give up. Um,
Yeah. Let me
yeah,
ask you this. Do you feel like you're the same person you were a year ago?
no, not at all. I mean, I'll say it differently. Yes, I am. But no, I'm not. Right? Just like I'm a different person today than I was yesterday, just like you are. No matter what, just like anybody listening here is. We all grow from our experiences, no matter what they are. The difference is how we grow about it, right? What we choose to take from the experiences we've had, right? So 10-90, life is 10% what happens to you, but 90% how you react to it,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Attitude is everything. And I absolutely believe that I am the person that I am today because of the choices I've made. The things I've screwed up, I've made lots of bonehead maneuvers. Like, I've screwed up lots and lots of times. But all that did was to help to create a foundation. And because I was willing to look at it in the appropriate light, it helped to
Mhm.
create a foundation for me to become a better version of myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Taking ownership. Taking
Yes,
ownership. Yep.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the goals, what I like to, I guess I don't know if it's a quote or something I've heard once, is, who do you have to become to be the person that achieved that goal? So if you set a goal out in a year in advance or 5 years in advance, whatever it is, like you said, it's a shiny object in the distance. But I think the question you need to ask, that you need to look at every day, is, who is the person I need to become that achieves that goal? What do I need to do today to become that person that has that goal? Instead of, a lot of people use affirmations and try to speak it into existence. But the true piece behind that is, what are you changing internally to become that person that has achieved that goal?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vision without action. Oh, I'm gonna mess up the quote. It's one I put out on the Facebook, but it's vision without action is like pointless. That's not the right word, but it's close enough. And then action without vision is blind. Have vision and take action both, right? Like, my point being, like, you have to have that to know where you want to go, but you got to take action because no one's gonna do it for you, right?
Mhm.
Totally.
Yeah.
You can totally cut and edit that part out because that was
No,
messing
you're
with my
good.
throat.
You're
But
good.
anyhow,
So,
yeah,
well, let's switch gears a little bit. You have this Batmobile story, and I want to know about
yeah,
it. So share. Let's. I guess I don't know what this Batmobile story is going to take us, but I want you to share that story for us and the
sure.
listeners.
It comes down to goals and getting what you want and knowing you can do anything if you put your mind to it. My grandfather was the biggest role model in my life, and he was my hero. Absolutely, that man. If I could be half as good of a man as he was, like all of won this life. Um, I spent summers with him a lot. He was a hard-working man, laborer, and he would work for hours. And he drove and commuted an hour every day, did a laborious job, and he came home. So, but every time I went with him, he would always buy me like a toy. We used to go to Toys R Us. We called it Toys R Broken because by the time I got home, the thing was broken. We had to go back and get a new. But he always got me some little thing, a little action figure or whatever, and it was just a highlight of an experience that I had spending with him. So one time we're in this TJ Maxx, and this is like 1990. I'm like 10 or 11 years old, and early 90s, 1991. Here's the point: the Batmobile that I wanted was $40, and I said, "Hey, Grandpa, can I get that?" He's like, "No, like it's a lot of money." And getting the Batmobile. That night we got home, and I started hatching my plan. And so the next morning I had $4. So he left for work. I waited 5 minutes for him to leave, and then I took off. And we lived it wasn't the best neighborhood. Here's my point. I marched off. I walked like 4 miles, and I went to this hardware store that I knew, and I had $4 to my name, and I bought a squeegee and a bucket and I had it for $3, which you can't do that anymore. I had $1 left. I walked across the street and I went to McDonald's, got some French fries. And I walked back the 4 miles back. I'm eating my French fries, and I went to a gas station by my grandparents' house. And I went to the front desk and I asked the guy, "Hey, can I wash everyone's windows for free? I'll do it, no charge." He's like, "Sure, kid." I'm like, "Great. Can I have some soap and water?" All right. So he gives me soap and water. That day, every car that came by, I said, "Hi, can I wash your windows? I'll do it for free, no charge." "Hi, can I wash your windows? I'll do it for free, no charge." I don't care what kind of car they were driving. They could have been driving a Porsche. They could have been driving a Pinto. Like, it didn't matter. Every car, every person. Like, I asked everybody. A lot of those people said yes. Some of the people were not incredibly nice. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of negativity that was spewed my way, and I have to tell you, I don't remember any of it. Like, I remember it was there, but I couldn't tell you what the face was or what they said because it wasn't had nothing to do with where my vision was. That day, like a lot of people, I washed windows and I did it for free, no charge. They didn't tip me, but you better believe a lot of people did tip this kid who was hustling. That night, I got home after my grandfather got in, and I can still to this day see it. He would always have this ritual. He'd get in after work, he would walk into the kitchen, he'd unbutton the top button of his shirt, and he'd start getting his Folgers instant coffee, like clockwork. I walked inside the kitchen and he was getting his coffee ready. And I pulled this fat, soggy, wet mass of money, coins and bills, and I put on the counter. I said, "Grandpa, can I get that Batmobile now?" And he looked at me. He said, "Yes, we can." He buttoned up that shirt. We got in the car. We drove. And then less than 24 hours later, I had that Batmobile. I made over
Wow.
$100 that day. And, for an 11-year-old child, like, that was a big thing.
That's a
But the
big thing.
money wasn't what it was about, right? It was the fact that I set my mind to it and I knew that no matter what, I was going to get it. That lesson has taken me through the entirety of my life, knowing that no matter what I put my mind to, that I can achieve it. Incredibly powerful.
That's incredibly powerful. Wow. I I'm speechless from that. That is an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that. So powerful. It's a lesson I'm going to teach my son. He likes tractors and he wants to buy tractors, but then he also likes lawnmowers too. So he likes any kind of like mechanical thing. And he saw a lawnmower at a store, and he's like, "I want that. Like, can I buy that?" And it was a toy version. He's 4, or he's almost 4, and like, well, you gotta make money for that. We have chickens now; they lay eggs, and so we're like, start selling eggs. And so he's every day he's like, "I'm gonna get that lawnmower. I'm gonna do it. I gotta sell some more eggs." And so I just, thinking about that through that story of you doing that. You had your mindset on this, and it's very powerful. That's a very powerful story to just go after it and hustle like that. And you kind of just went brushed through this, but I think it speaks volumes to the mindset that you have of not letting that negativity that day affect you, or you even remember it. You focused on your vision, what you had, and you could have stopped, I'm sure, many parts of that day and been like, this is not working. Like, people are yelling at me, people are swearing me, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what am I doing out here? And I shouldn't even be out here, right? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of points in that, but you had a goal and you're relentless in achieving that. And the biggest piece to that is you're adding value for free with this. Maybe some people will tip me, maybe people don't, but I'm going to keep going and add value. And at some point, it's going to come back around. Like, there's so many lessons from that. And there's no doubt that you've taken that throughout your life. I'm definitely going to keep that story with me and as well, because I think that's very, I mean, that's an awesome story. So thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that.
No, it's my pleasure. Thanks for letting me share it.
Yeah. So let's dive into our last questions, our think bigger questions. So first question is, how do you choose to think bigger?
How much more joy can I bring? So I constantly set these incredibly aggressive goals. Um, and much like you mentioned earlier, right? How do you reverse engineer it? How do I achieve that, right? This is a crazy goal. Most people would balk at seeing that. And I'm like, well, how can I do it? And so to the point of bringing joy to others, something that I'm right now trying to do, I wanted to give back. And so I'm actively working on creating a charity called Whole Lotta Love. LOTTA, Lotta stands for Let Our Teachers Travel Abroad. I want to bring joy to others. It's a mission that I have. I've spent a lot of time thinking about why am I on this spinning rock? And that's what I believe it to be, is to bring joy, and in many ways, big and small. And in the donation aspect, I thought, well, how do I know my money goes where I want it to? And I suddenly thought, well, if I can create this, I know where it goes. I know it goes to a cause that I want, and other people can help to do that. And so then it scales, right? It's so much bigger than me. And suddenly everyone else that aligns with the cause can help to support it. And so the entire intent of Whole Lot of Love is to let our teachers travel abroad. It's intended to for public schools, elementary, middle, and high, to have nominated by their peers a teacher to select a location. It has to be out of the country that they want to travel to. And the idea is that they have a lot of time, but I don't think that they get compensated monetarily the way they should for literally raising the next generation of our country and the world. So my thought was to be able to give them a fully funded trip, travel, lodging, a spending stipend for the teacher and a plus one, because it's more fun when you go with friends,
Yeah.
and to just give them an experience. And beyond that, so in thinking bigger, like suddenly I'm thinking, what else comes from this? What are the ripples? Like the intention is to bring joy, but not only does that teacher get that, what if they bring back a lesson, and if it reinvigorates them, or it lets them visit a country that they teach about but have never been to? What if they are able to share something with a student, and years later, this student grows up and does some humanitarian effort, something that changes the world, right? And a legacy is planting a seed in a garden you will never see, right? And so if by virtue of my thought of creating this charity has these ripples that come from it that somehow may literally change the world. I know that's it's big. It's a vision I have. It's what I see. And who knows what will come of it. But I know that I'm coming at it with the right intention, like care, love, to bring joy. And so I hope that answers the question.
100%. That's it. That is how you think bigger. I love that. Bring in joy and spreading it. Nothing else to add. So let's jump to the next question. How do you define success?
I'm already successful. I define it by waking up every day with a positive attitude. Like things, as I'm getting older, like I wake up, things hurt. Like, oh, that's not moving as much as I wanted it to. But the reality is that I'm already successful. And I think that's the secret. I think that's it. You got to be happy with who you are, where you are now. right? And keep growing, keep getting better. Don't be satisfied, but be thankful, have gratitude, like genuinely appreciate the person you are and the things that you do and what you've given it. And if you feel that you're wanting or lacking in that regard, then think, well, how can I change it? Because at the end of the day, it's only up to you. So I would say I'm already successful.
Love it. Love it. What's the best advice you can give a new multifamily investor student?
Do it. Just do it. I mean, Nike has it best, right? Just do it. That's it. Literally, like get off your butt and do it. Turn off the Netflix and do it. Or keep Netflix playing in the background and just and still get on your laptop, send out those emails, put the posts out there, right? Like do, and it's not even just about your social presence, right? It's also about like, if you're in acquisitions, like making the broker relations, right? Find a broker list online, start cold calling people, right? If you don't know what MSA is, okay, we'll start diving in. Find the information. Like you don't know what you don't know, right? And when you know better, do better, right? So just keep moving forward. And that is the best piece of advice I can tell you is take action.
Yep. Take action. Awesome. Justin, this has been really good. To recap, I mean, I don't know if I can recap everything we talked about. There's been so many good nuggets, but for those that are, getting started or have been doing this for a while, like start study groups. If you need some additional accountability, start a study group, an underwriting party, and be consistent at that for a period of time to see who else can, one, help you, or you help them first, right? Adding value to them, but then that comes back to you as well and pushes you. So start those up. Other is, have a vision and then take massive action. I mean, that's a lesson that throughout this episode that I've listened to you, Justin, is figure out what you want and then just go after it and do whatever you can to tackle that. The Batmobile story. So remember that, everybody, the Batmobile story and how Justin got his Batmobile story when he was, 10 or 11. And with that, Justin, how can people reach out to you?
I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, both Justin Mills or Gold Dragon Investments. Through my account, it's got my number and my email, justin@golddragoninvestments.com. Reach out to me anytime. I'd love to help answer any questions. If there's anything that I can do to help to add value to you, to help in any way, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Justin. And listeners,
Thank you.
hopefully you learned something today. If you didn't, you better wake up and listen to this again. And we will see you all on the next episode.
Multifamily Mindset Podcast. Think bigger.